guys, it's George. It's Shred Every Day. Now, fat. Is it helping us or harming us? Is fat a good thing or a bad thing? Well, it depends on what type of fat you're using and how much of it you're having. Because bad fat is definitely not good. This kind of thing can raise your blood cholesterol, clog all your arteries, slow down your system, promote lots of fat gain and wreak havoc on your whole body. Good fats, on the other hand, well, they can increase your fat burning, they can increase your muscle building, they can increase your insulin response, they can increase your energy, they can give you good skin texture, and they can help healthy joints. So good fats, well, they're some kind of wonder drug. And yes, in many ways they are a wonder drug, because having good fats in the right quantity can really do wonders for your body. Are you doing it? Let's have a look. Now, back in the 80s and 90s, everyone thought fat was awful, and everyone started creating these low-fat foods or zero-fat foods. And there was the hope that, you know, bringing the fat levels down would help the obesity and the diabetes and all this rubbish, but it's actually gotten worse. People are still continuing at an accelerated rate to get fat and unhealthy and have all these health problems. So fat isn't the problem. What a lot of manufacturers did was they reduced the fat, but it didn't taste good anymore, so they added plenty of sugar and all this crap, and in many ways all that simple sugars and the bad carbohydrates are actually really making the problem worse, and I'll talk about carbohydrates in another video. But the main point is, fat isn't the problem here, and a zero-fat diet is not doing any favours for your progress. Super low-fat diets are not the way to go, believe me, and there's so many reasons why. Very low-fat diets put you in starvation mode straight away, and we know from the previous videos how really bad that is. Really low-fat diets can cause wild fluctuations in your blood sugar levels because it's not slowing down and helping digestion. So you're going to have crazy mood swings and energy levels throughout the day. And because of that, you're going to have huge insulin releases, which is going to cause fat storage, people. And at the other end, when your blood sugar level drops right down, you're going to have huge hunger and massive cravings for anything that looks like food remotely. Also, your testosterone levels will plummet, and so will your libido. So the whole life really falls apart with no fat. Fat is good. Okay, so we should all have high-fat diets? No, we shouldn't be having high-fat diets either. There's many reasons for that. Remember, there's 9 calories of every gram of fat, so you're going to have very caloric dense foods if you have a high-fat diet, meaning you're not really going to be able to eat that much quantity of food. Also, fat has the lowest thermic effect of food, which means the energy needed to digest fat is really low, which meaning your metabolism is going to dip. Next, having too much fat is going to cause serious health problems like heart disease and cancer and all this horrible stuff. Plus, too much fat is going to leave not much room for protein and not much room for carbohydrates. You need protein for muscle gain and muscle retention, and you need carbohydrates for energy in your workouts. Next, insulin sensitivity is going to go from too high to too low, which means that you're not going to be able to signal muscle building with all the protein and signal muscle growth when you want it. And dietary fats that you take in from food are going to be very easily stored. Next, dietary fat is a pretty crap energy source, so your workouts are going to suffer. Plus, it really doesn't create a very good muscle building environment. Okay. Too much fat is bad, too little fat is bad. So what types of fat are good and how much should we be having? Okay, bit of science here, okay? Fat is made up of carbon and hydrogen. So there's basically carbon, 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 carbon. There's like the backbone. And attached to those carbon atoms are hydrogen, clipped onto each carbon atom. If all the carbon has hydrogen attachments, then it is saturated and it's a saturated fat. However, if there are some carbons that don't have hydrogen connected to them, then it's unsaturated. So we've got saturated and unsaturated fats depending on if all the carbons have hydrogen attached to them. Scientific, I know, but there you go, bit of useful information. So, saturated fats, the ones where all the carbons have got hydrogen attached to them, they're basically solid at room temperature. That's how you can tell it's a saturated fat. So we've got things like butter, cheese, meat fats, we've got egg yolks, anything like that is going to be solid at room temperature and it's a saturated fat. You don't want too much because it can clog arteries and ruin your cholesterol. We do want a tiny bit, but like 6 grams a day of saturated fat. Unsaturated fat are the good ones like omega-3s and omega-6s. These are things like all the oils, the almonds, any kind of fish, is really good in those kind of unsaturated fats. And the unsaturated fats are where we have our essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acids being ones that aren't produced in the body and that we need to get from our dietary intake. The omega-3s and the omega-6s are the ones we want to get. A lot of people have too many omega-6s and not enough omega-3. If you find you've got kind of dry, flaky skin, then you may be deficient in omega-3s. So have a look and see if you're getting enough in your diet, because there's plenty of benefits of omega-3s and essential fatty acids. Improved insulin sensitivity, improved joint health, energy production, assistance in oxygen transfer, assistance to maintain your cell membrane integrity. It helps suppress cortisol production, which allows you to do your workouts longer. It helps healthy skin and helps boost your metabolism and helps burn fat. Keep your essential fatty acids and your unsaturated fats high and keep your saturated fats low as possible. Don't eliminate them, but just keep them well down. So don't have too much, don't have too little, and have the right type of fat. How much? Remember, it's about 0.4 grams per pound of body weight that you are. So for me, I'm about 150 pounds, times that by 0.4 is something like 60 grams a day. Or you can do it by percentage, so have about 20% of your calories from fat. Definitely no lower than 15% and no higher than around 30%. That's it today. I'm going to do some more videos on fats. We're talking about trans fats and how they're really bad for you, some practical approaches to using fat and incorporating in your diet, and how manufacturers are screwing you over with bad nutrition labels on the fat content that they have in their foods. So check all those coming up in the next few days. Have a great day, guys. Remember to like this video, subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, keep those messages coming in on the Facebook page, and enjoy the videos, guys.